There is a pattern you have probably noticed. The person who posts the most Bible verses on Instagram is the one who treated their ex the worst. The politician who gives speeches about family values gets caught in a hotel room with someone who is not their spouse. The pastor who preaches loudest about sin has a secret that would destroy his congregation if it ever came out. This is not coincidence. This is not a few bad apples. This is a structural feature of performative morality. The people who act the holiest are very often the ones who have done the worst things. And the reason why cuts to the heart of human psychology and Nietzsche's most devastating critique of religion. Let us start with what performative piety actually is. It is the public display of moral superiority. It is saying, look at how good I am. Look at how close to God I am. Look at how righteous my life is. It is posting the prayer hands emoji. It is leading the small group. It is being the first to condemn others. Friedrich Nietzsche called this raisonnement. He argued that what we call morality is often just the weapon of the weak, a way to feel superior to others by pretending to be purer than them. The person who needs to constantly announce their goodness is not good. They are insecure about their badness. They are compensating. The louder the proclamation, the deeper the insecurity. The holier the performance, the darker the secret behind the curtain. Why do people do this? Because guilt is unbearable. When you have done something you know is wrong, you have two options. You can face it, admit it, and try to become better. Or you can bury it under a mountain of public righteousness. The second option is easier. It is also more effective, at least in the short term. If you convince everyone around you that you are a saint, maybe you can convince yourself too. The human mind is remarkably good at self-deception. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance. When your actions do not match your self-image, your brain will rewrite one of them. Usually, it rewrites your perception of your actions. You did not cheat on your spouse. You were driven to it by a loveless marriage. You are still a good person. In fact, you are an especially good person. Look at how much you volunteer at church. Look at how many mission trips you have been on. The sin gets buried under the performance, and soon even you cannot see it anymore. Nietzsche went further. He argued that Christianity itself is built on this dynamic. The Christian moral system, he said, is a slave morality. It takes the natural human desires, ambition, pride, sexuality, power, and it calls them sins. But you cannot just delete desire. You can only repress it. And what is repressed does not disappear. It festers. It grows in the dark. And eventually it comes out in twisted ways. The priest who preaches against lust is the one most consumed by it. The televangelist who screams about greed is the one flying a private jet. The politician who crusades against immorality is the one paying for silence. Nietzsche would say this is not hypocrisy in the simple sense. It is the inevitable result of a moral system that demands the impossible. You cannot be sinless, but you can pretend to be, and the pretense becomes the entire identity. There is also a psychological pattern called reaction formation. When a person has an impulse they find unacceptable, they do not just suppress it. They become its loudest opponent. The closeted politician who supports anti-gay legislation. The man consumed by lust who becomes a purity culture crusader. The person terrified of their own darkness who dedicates their life to pointing out darkness in others. They are not lying to you. They are lying to themselves. And the lie is so complete that they genuinely believe they are fighting evil when they are really fighting the evil they see in the mirror every morning. So what does real goodness look like if not this? Real goodness is quiet. It does not announce itself. It does not need a stage. The truly good person is not the one telling you how good they are. They are the one you catch doing the right thing when no one is watching. They do not post about their charity. They just write the check. They do not lead the prayer circle. They just show up when you are hurting and say nothing. Jesus himself warned about this. He said, do not be like the hypocrites who pray on street corners to be seen by others. They have received their reward in full. Go into your room, close the door, and pray in secret. Real faith is private. Real goodness is humble. Real righteousness does not need an audience. If someone is performing their holiness for you, ask yourself what they are hiding. Because nobody who is actually close to God needs to prove it to you.